Gun Sports Radio is sponsored by Love Radio Network. Welcome to Gun Sports Radio, all about shooting, hunting, self-defense, and more. Now, here are the hosts of Gun Sports Radio, Dave Stahl and Lance Pelkey.
Whenever you hear him live. All right, folks. Hey, welcome to Gun Sports Radio, show 61, if you can believe that. We want to thank Gun Range San Diego for all their support, 7853 Balboa Avenue in San Diego, 10 to 10, 7 days a week. Go to gunrangesandiego.com for more information. Then you're going to know what to do with it. It'll have everything on it you could ever want. Guns that you can rent, range times. You could set up appointments with some of the instructors. I call it the Nordstroms of gun ranges. It just doesn't cost as much. Let me see if I can turn that up a little bit. Does that help a little bit? That helps. Yes. We have a guest in the house, by the way. We want to thank Nick Novacek. He is taking Hollywood's spot this week, which probably is going to be an uphill battle on his part.
It's good to be here, though.
Nobody can outdance the Hollywood. But right now, we have the executive director for the San Diego County Gun Owners on the line, Michael Schwartz. How you doing, bud?
What's up, guys? How are you guys doing?
Oh, I don't know. Probably having as much fun as you. How's the show?
The show's good. The show's really good. It was a little slow, but it was still a lot going on at the gun show. But I want to talk a little bit about Assemblyman Randy Vopel had his annual Second Amendment awareness event yesterday at the Alpine facility for Lemon Grove Rod and Gun Club, which Gun Sports Radio sponsored. They bought all the ammunition for them through the Gun Range San Diego, and The event was really, really great.
Oh, that's terrific. How many folks they have, give or take?
100, give or take. Yep. Probably a little bit more. That might even be a conservative estimate.
Was that like last year? When they had a bunch of people?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was. All smiles. A lot of new shooters.
Oh, that's great.
Basically, what they did is they opened up the range, and all of Randy's constituents were invited to come down and bring a gun if they wanted, or if they didn't have one, then just come on down, and we'll find somebody to help you shoot. And you could shoot pistol, rifle, or shotgun. And there was ammo provided, and range time was free, and it was just really great. And you guys were fantastic. Gun Sports Radio was fantastic for sponsoring that, and Gun Range San Diego, appreciate the support. It was very, very cool.
Well, we were happy to do it. I know I was there last year. I brought my AR pistol and had a great time with it.
Right. So
we the San Diego County Gunners, we set up a table and talked to a bunch of people about what we were doing. The California Rifle and Pistol Association was there and talked about what they're doing, and it was just fantastic.
Well, because that's what it's going to take. Now, you've got some events coming up next month.
Next week, a week from Tuesday, we have a very cool event. It's an open house for realtors. So if you know any realtors who are interested in possibly getting their concealed carry permit, or at least seeing what the process is like, or it's on our website. You can see it on our website, SanDiegoCountyGunOwners.com. Open house for realtors at the Glock store from 1 to 4. If you're a realtor, RSVP, and you can come down and we'll walk you through the process of how to apply, how a realtor may qualify for a CCW, and we'll show concealed carry guns, concealed carry products, self-defense products, and then they're actually going to get to go out on the range and shoot a magazine through a pistol. So it's all free. It's all complimentary to San Diego County Gun Owners, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun.
Right. Because hopefully by next year we should, or the year after, hopefully we'll be able to get, an easier path to getting a concealed weapons permit.
That's exactly right. And we have found that realtors in certain situations do qualify for CCWs now. The sheriff is saying he wants to issue more permits to realtors. So we think it's a good niche to start educating. The problem is you got to say the magic words, and it's just such a ridiculous process. But we do think that there's a significantly good chance of realtors being able to get a CCW right now. Obviously, in the future, if we elect the right people and some of the cities start issuing and we get a good sheriff into office, everybody will have an easier time. But right now, we're going to see if we can at least educate the folks that have a good shot. Realtors is one of those groups.
Yeah, it's a great group, and it's better than watching the NFL games.
What's that?
Better than watching the NFL
What's
games.
NFL?
National Football League.
I thought that was no football league.
There you go. I like that better.
Sounds a bit closer.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But I was confused. I think this is way. And it's funny. My automotive shows are exactly 1 to 4, the exact same time as the afternoon football. It's perfect.
Perfect timing.
So hey, how many people did you sign up today, Sunshine?
Over the weekend, we signed up. I had a bunch of volunteers helping out, and I kind of lost count, but I think we're down about a half a dozen or so.
Yeah.
Over the weekend, which is fantastic. We definitely need more members. We're going into an election year.
Yep.
We need folks to sign up, and there's a lot of really good things going on. There are now 3 cities in Riverside County that are issuing CCW permits through their police chief, which is amazing. And the amazing thing is the way they're doing it so easily, I guess, is they're actually going through a third party, a private investigation firm that's actually helping them process the CCW, the background check and that sort of thing. So we're introducing that company and their process to some of the cities that we've been talking to about issuing concealed carry.
What a great idea.
Including Escondido, including La Mesa. And, their big concern, a lot of these cities want to issue, and philosophically they're with us. But the infrastructure, you can't just snap your fingers and boom, you're issuing permits. There's a certain amount of infrastructure and paperwork that has to be done, and someone has to process it. Well, this company looks like they have a fantastic product, and they're doing it successfully. So I think we found a way to help these cities facilitate, getting these permits issued.
What's the costing on that, Mike? And does that require the psychological part of it, or no?
No, it's a fantastic question. That was one of my first questions because the 3 cities up in Riverside, I'll do the psychological evaluation. And just to be clear, it's called a psychological evaluation. It's not testing to see if someone's crazy or not. That's a whole different part of the background check. It's really a personality test.
Yeah.
And there's no requirement that you have to have the same. It's actually a personality test they give police officers before they hire them.
Yeah.
There's no requirement that you have to have the same personality as a police officer to get a CCW.
Yep.
So the service they provide is fully customizable. It's up to the city council, but there's no requirement that they have the psychological test. And right now, it's probably about $500 to soup to nuts to get your CCW through the sheriff in San Diego County. Implemented, the cities, it'll probably be about $650 if they don't do the psych eval. It'll probably be closer to $800 if any of them do decide to do that. But we're working with them. It's a couple extra bucks, but if it's your only avenue for self-defense,
Sure.
Worth every penny.
Yeah.
Worth every penny.
And that's good for probably 2 years.
Every 2 years, you have to renew. The renewal, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure the renewal is cheaper than the initial. But you have to renew every 2 years.
That's a great idea. That's a great avenue.
Yeah. Are you going to stay on the line there, bud, or you got to go pick up all your stuff?
I got to load up and head out.
All right. Well, don't hurt your back.
Thank you.
Yeah, think nothing
I appreciate it.
All right. So tell Lauren she has to lift everything.
I will. That's my dog.
Yeah, then she'll smack me for that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Right across the face.
You got. Oh, you're terrible. All right, buddy. Hey, by the way, website one more time.
San Diego County Gun Owners.com.
That's what I like to hear. All right, buddy. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, gents. Take care.
All right, folks. We're going to take a small break. When we come back, we've got John Dillon on the line. Gatsky, Dillon, and Balance, LLP. Go to www.cafirearmslaw.com, cafirearmslaw.com for a no-nonsense information. We'll be right back. This is Gun Sports Radio. Folks, hey, welcome back. This is Gun Sports Radio, show number 61. Can you believe that? Yeah. We also have right now John Dillon on the line, and John Dillon. Oh, actually, Trident Gunsmithing does sponsor this segment, and I can't forget good old Trident Gunsmithing, TridentGunsmithing.com, TridentGunsmithing.com. They have an opportunity if you like to go hunting, and the hunting season is up and running. You can just ask John Dillon; he'll tell you. But they have a hunter education course. The instructor, Steve Shaw, he'll teach you how to know your gun, know your responsibility, know the proper ethics. And you can register at www.wildlife.ca.gov/hunter-education and use zip code 92126. Students can take the traditional or online course with those follow-up classes. So Trident Gunsmithing. Definitely give them a call, 858-577-0576. Without another word mentioned, John Dillon, how are you today, sir?
Hey, Dave, how's it going?
We are having a wonderful time. How about you?
Wonderful.
I'm good. Just, surviving the weekend.
Surviving the weekend? What are you doing?
Well, I got a wife and kid who are both sick, so I'm trying to stay healthy.
Well, we're sorry to hear that. You should go get them each a milkshake.
They'll be all right.
No, milkshakes work. Trust me, milkshakes work. I remember when I was little.
All righty. Well, we'll check that out then. I guess we're going to have to go get some milkshakes. But,
oh, yeah.
I had a good
hey, Lance says you should use Crown Royal. He says that works way better.
For my 2-year-old, all right, that works.
Yeah. So you got a hot question?
I do. So this question came through email from Barry, and he asked, where does he get the serial numbers for 80% builds now that California is beginning to regulate and restrict homemade firearms? Not only where does he get these engravings done, but also what are the steps that need to be taken to get them done, and do they apply to all firearms? So a lot of information with this question, but I'll try to get through it all. One of the laws that was passed in 2016 was AB 857. Now, that law requires people as of July 1st, 2018, if you want to build your own firearm, most of the time this is done with what they call 80% lowers or an unfinished AR-15 lower, but they do have them for pistols these days too. You have to engrave a serial number and unique identifying information, to quote the DOJ, before you go ahead and mill out the firearm. Now, the catch with this is the state of California is going to start requiring people to get approval and get a personally issued serial number from the California Department of Justice before they even start to mill out or make their own firearm. You guys remember this one at all?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so
hate it.
Basically what the DOJ is going to require is that you're going to apply to the DOJ for your unique serial number, and this is going to be in a Department of Justice form that is not out yet. I don't believe they have them made. Again, this is another instance where DOJ is supposed to come out with regulations to further clarify this new law. We don't have those yet, so it's there's a lot of stuff that's still unknown when it comes to this new law. But you're going to have to apply to the DOJ, likely fill out a form, and then they will send you a serial number. Then within 10 days of getting that serial number, you have to mill out the firearm, and complete it, and then also go and get it engraved with that unique serial number that the DOJ sent you, along with usually it's every other identifying mark is the standard is a federal regulation, so you're going to have the name of the manufacturer, which is the person who made it, the city and state where the firearm was manufactured. You're going to put that serial number on there. A lot of times people will include the caliber of the firearm and also a model number if you have one for it. But you're going to have to find someone to engrave that. And then after you engrave it, you're going to have to notify the DOJ, likely with another form and pictures of your completed firearm in order for it to be considered a legal weapon.
Is that going to be online somehow?
They're not asking for much, you know.
Yeah, that's tough. Is it going to be online somehow, and you follow up online type of deal, or who knows?
Yeah, honestly, we don't know how it's going to be yet.
Right.
They say, and when you do submit this form to get the serial number, they're going to need to do a firearms eligibility check on you when you submit these forms. You know, I've had clients call me who they've been waiting for 3 months to get their response back for their firearms eligibility check. So the DOJ is going to need to really step it up if they want to turn these around quicker. In the law, it states that it has 15 calendar days to approve your firearms eligibility check. So it's going to be a lengthy process, and it's going to take a long time. And that's just a brief summary of what the law is going to require. The main problem that a lot of people are going to have is finding people that can actually engrave these firearms to the proper depth and marking restrictions that are standards that the law is implementing. I know that Empowered Firearms in Vista, they just recently got a laser engraver specifically to help people out who need to engrave their homemade firearms and home-built firearms with serial numbers. Off the top of my head, that's the only store in San Diego I know of that has the laser in-house, so they can do it right when you walk in. But I'd encourage anyone that's thinking about doing it, call up your local gun shop, see if they have the ability to do that. So that's going to be a big problem, is people finding the right stores and people that can actually do the engraving properly. They're going to require you to go to a certain depth. So a lot of people, they're going to see trophy shops where they, you know how you guys can engrave, plaques and trophies.
Sure.
Those shops are all over the place. So the problem with those is usually those marking machines or engravers that they use don't actually mark to the depth that's required by this new law.
Well, John,
that's one of the things you get.
John, let me ask you this, because kind of like the automotive industry, when the state government decided they wanted to smog cars, you had to buy their smog machine, or the machine that you were looking at had to meet certain requirements. Are they doing the same thing with this engraver? And a backup question: if this engraver costs more than $29.95, what is the consumer going to be stuck with to have this engraved?
Oh, yeah. So, first, the DOJ or California hasn't required, anyone to use like their engraver, only approved engraving machines. But because they require certain depth and clarity requirements in marking this information, people are going to have to go to places with sufficient enough machinery that can do it and meet those standards. So it's going to be hard to find those. I know that usually it requires like a fiber optic laser, which, they're not cheap machines by any means.
Right.
So, my guess is, it's probably going to be, at least $35, $40 per engraving. I think that's around the general.
And then who's going to check these things?
But yeah, it's going to be pricey, especially for people that have made multiple firearms at home.
A lot of people have too. What do you think the costing is going to be for the DOJ part of it? Do you know?
I don't have that off the top of my head, but generally speaking, they do charge when you're submitting forms on certain applications, stuff like that. But it's going to be probably around $10 to $20 is my guess to get these serial numbers sent to you. So it's going to be an involved process. It's going to be very easy to make mistakes. You're going to have to set up and kind of reserve your spot to get your engraving done, especially if you're trying to engrave after July 1st, 2018. You have to engrave within 10 days of getting your serial number. So unless you have a shop lined up that has space and time to do your engraving, a lot of people are going to get their serial number, and then 10 days are going to go by because they haven't been able to find a person that can engrave the numbers on it. And then they're going to miss their period of time, and they're going to have to, I assume, reapply.
Okay.
That'll probably cost them more money.
Then I'm going to be the devil's advocate. Okay, so Lance got his gun, serial number embossed, and everybody's happy. Now I'm the police officer, and I pull out, and I look at his gun. How is a police officer going to know what's the right, what's wrong? Is there going to be a database? I mean, it seems to me like this is going to really entail more work on the police officer's side of it. And what if the police officer looks at Lance and says, your number doesn't qualify? Then what?
Well, this is the big issue. So because California registers the firearms to the person's name and, using the serial numbers, when you're applying for these DOJ-issued serial numbers, it is essentially registering, this firearm that you're making to your name. And so the law enforcement, they will be able to, search your serial number and find out if it is, in fact, register your name. But the big problem that's going to happen, or I foresee happening, is that California is going to start issuing serial numbers. This is an area of the law that's been wholly regulated by the federal government and the AATF forever. They are the ones that, regulate importing and manufacturing of firearms and serial numbers. So there may be a big issue when California starts distributing serial numbers. I don't know if they've already had some agreement with the ATF and how they're going to deal with that, but I don't think ATF is going to be happy when hundreds of thousands of serial numbers start getting issued by the state of California.
Oh, really? I feel so bad for them.
Look out for that. That might be an interesting little battle between government, state, and federal government. But it's going to be complicated. It's going to be tough. I know Barry, his question, it was a really good question, and I know I threw a lot of information at you guys. But this is, again, it's one of the reasons why people need to pay attention to the laws that are getting passed and, the laws that are being proposed, because, stuff like this gets passed and no one really knows the true effect until it's too late, obviously. This law hasn't even gone into effect yet. This is next year that this regulation starts going into place. And, like I said, I've sat here on the phone today and there's a lot of information I don't know about this stuff, and I've paid attention to it all. So there's a lot of unknowns, a lot of stuff that's very unclear how it's going to operate. And, as we can see with the assault weapon laws that passed, the magazine restriction laws that passed, it's not going to be a smooth process.
No.
Obviously, the DOJ is woefully behind in getting their regulations out and getting the processes out. So, it's going to be a tough one, and you really need to pay attention. And if you made these firearms, take the steps early on to make sure that you're not going to get in trouble.
Right.
And, do it before it's too late or before there's a mad scramble to get it in right before the deadline.
Well, my recommendation...
There are some exceptions.
Yeah. My recommendation, go to cafirearmslaw.com, cafirearmslaw.com. Stay on that website. That's John's website. They'll be more than happy to keep you abreast of all the laws, all the changes. He keeps it very well updated. If you don't have a computer, 760-431-9501. But my recommendation, go to cafirearmslaw.com. You can ask him questions. There's no charge for it because he uses it for information for us on the radio. John Dillon, thank you. We appreciate everything you do. And I think you got a right idea with that. I think you got a right idea with that bow and arrow, if you want my opinion. All right, buddy.
All righty.
Go take care of that lovely family and get him a milkshake, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Will do.
That's true.
All right, folks, we're going to take a small break. This is Gun Sports Radio, and we've got Hollywood's replacement, Nick Novacek. I don't know if he's up for it. He's already got 40 grams of paper over there. He's been writing notes. Have you ever seen Joe with a piece of paper and a pen?
I would doubt
Once in a while.
Once in a while.
I would doubt
Once
it.
in a
Yeah,
while.
I think he was ordering food. All right, hey, we're
more
going
like
to take a small break. This is Gun Sports Radio. Stay tuned. All right, folks, welcome back. Gun Sports Radio, right here on AM 1170. We are the answer. Go to gunsportsradio.com, facebook.com/gunsportsradio. You can find us there. But if you go to gunsportsradio.com, you can hear all the radio shows that you might have missed. And you can always listen to us by downloading the AM 1170 The Answer app. Or just go to the website and go to www.kcbq.com. All right, this segment is brought to you by the good folks at Gun Range San Diego. I call it the Nordstroms of gun ranges. It's just not as expensive. 7853 Balboa Avenue, 10 to 10, 7 days a week, 858-573-1911. They have a great website, www.thegunrangesandiego.com. So this segment's sponsored. But Hollywood is on his way back from Arizona, so we got Nick Novacek in the hot seat. How you doing, Nick?
Great. How are you?
Very good. So what do you do down at Gun Range San Diego?
I'm an RSO. I also do sales quite often down there.
So RSO, let me guess, range
Safety officer.
There you go.
officer.
I see him in there all the time.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
you need all
get
the
to
safety
play with
you
Lance's
can get.
guns quite often. Yeah.
He does have one or two. So past experience?
I was in the Navy for about 5 years. I was a parachute rigger. I did some military law enforcement as well.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Okay. So what are some of the things that you like about Gun Range San Diego?
You know, it's a great place. We have all the great equipment on the range that's all high tech, so it's simple to send the targets out. All these other ranges out there, you'll see that they have like the standard system where you pull the little pulley and the target goes out, you know.
Oh, yeah.
We have that computer system, which makes it so much easier. You can program it to do all sorts of crazy stuff, like turn away from you, go down to the next distance, turn back.
Really?
Yeah, it's a great place. We also cater to everybody from brand new shooters to gun enthusiasts.
Mm-hmm.
We do our best to actually turn brand new shooters into enthusiasts. So we do a good job down there with all of that.
What about somebody that's been doing it for 100 years, and and he's going to come in, and now you're going to have to really explain how the cow eats the cabbage. You're up for the challenge?
We are. We absolutely are.
Well, because I think because people really need to know you're never too old to learn.
Absolutely.
You could always, you guys, even though you're there 7 days a week, or darn close to it, I bet you $20 you learn every day you walk in the door.
I try and learn something new every day, whether it's a new movement pattern to, shoot a little differently, shoot better, or if it's about an actual firearm itself.
Or if a customer asks you a question, you
That
thought,
too,
I
exactly.
would have never thought.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why I say in the car industry, I tell these manufacturers, you can do everything you want, but the customer will always figure out a way to come up with something you didn't think about.
Absolutely.
And it's the same thing in the gun world, really, when you come right down to it.
It definitely is.
Yeah. So, do you ever get into the world of giving advice as to what type of firearm someone should have?
All the time. We all the time do. People come in and they always assume that they want the smallest gun possible because it's cute, And I
One little
always
kick and hit you in the face.
What are you looking for this thing? Home defense. Okay, well, why don't you try a little bigger gun? Because if you are in a life or death situation, little tiny gun, there's nothing to compensate for the recoil with. So it might be a little harder to manage.
Right.
And so I drive people. I don't really drive people. I kind of mentor people along as much as I can.
Well, I'm going to give the same advice to you folks that are in the gun world as I do to the automotive world. Husbands, never buy your wife a car or a gun.
That's good advice.
Let the
Don't
expert
train them
take
either.
care. Go into Nick
Yeah.
and say, Nick, here's my wife. You're going to have a nice time. Talk to her. Just let me know what it's going to cost, and I'll write the check. Because am I right? Am I wrong?
Absolutely. That's absolutely true.
Because, Pops comes in, he goes, yeah, I want to get her a 44 Magnum. I mean, she's only 5 foot tall, for goodness sakes.
Yeah.
No, let the expert, because then, and I've told this story 100 times, I went to another range that's no longer in service. Mm-hmm. I didn't know anything about it. I mean, I was in the military, so I'm, very good on a 45. So I thought, well, okay, I'll get a 9mm and a revolver and a shotgun so my wife could be comfortable. So I ended up buying the 9mm. Well, nobody asked any questions. I just let her shoot it. I took it home. Mm-hmm. She can't rack it.
Yeah.
She can't pull it back. She just doesn't have the strength to pull it back. So now I got a 9mm. Now I got to go buy her another gun.
Well, it worked
she
out
also
for you,
had a
like.
5-inch grouping on all 3 guns. Never picked up a gun in her life.
The new ones tend to shoot the best, I've come to find, because they don't have any bad habits yet.
Right.
So it's much easier to get them to point in the right direction.
I looked at her and I said, well, I'm not wasting any more ammo on you. That's crazy. No, but again, I do that in jest. Practice. Absolutely. Because when all of a sudden something does come up, by the way, I don't know if you heard in the news, there was that gentleman that went into a church.
Yeah,
and shot up a bunch of people. Well, guess what? There was a 22-year-old there carrying at a concealed weapon, and thwarted the effort.
Is that what stopped him? That's terrible.
Yeah, just think how worse that could. But the media's not talking about that.
I was going to say it's amazing that we don't hear the good side.
Oh no, we can't do that because we got to figure out how to get all the guns away from you.
Absolutely.
Well, there was a situation that saved lives, and I'll bet because the guy could have went in and his intention was one thing. And thank goodness this 22-year-old.
Yeah, that's terrific.
I mean, that's terrific.
Yeah.
I mean, hats off to that kid. If anything, he should come to the White House and he should have dinner with the man.
Yeah.
Just for being responsible. But I've said it. I mean, the show's not political, folks, but it's just observations. All those riots we were having, those were all open carry. There was not one incident, not one person carrying a weapon legally. One person.
One guy.
Yeah, did he?
Yeah. But
he did it legally.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lots of open carry. But, there was one guy that kind of was a little crazy. But for the most part, it was terrific.
So, and again, but it's all about education. Yeah. But going to the classes and learning with guys like Nick, that's the key. I can just see right here the passion that Nick has into making good, intelligent gun owners.
Yeah,
it's a fun time.
I see him at the counter all the time.
Yeah,
Did you bring some specials today, by the way?
Yes, well, kind of. I'm actually the bearer of bad news. I think that's the real reason Hollywood's going.
Oh, something must have run out.
So, unfortunately, after 3 years of being open, we have to have our very first price increase. It's because because it's getting to be difficult, with the new laws coming out. They have the 2 bills specifically targeting FFLs. And because of that, we have to raise our prices a little bit so that we can stay in business.
Well, you and everybody else.
Yeah.
Well, if we can get more people to vote against that stuff, we wouldn't have to raise the prices. So I don't really see you guys as the bearer of the bad news here. I mean, the bad news is already there. So that's the reason why we have Mike on the show, and San Diego County gun owners,
and John Dillon,
and you guys as listeners and everybody to throw in so we don't have to do this stuff. But San Diego County the gun range San Diego has done a great job on keeping pricing down, and I don't think your
absolutely
increase is really
and
huge
increase
anyway,
it's really not that much more.
Right.
I mean, we're still going to be the lowest basically in the county, probably the state. It's really not jumping up that much. Our basic range fee right now is $12. It will be going up to $14 for additional shooters. Normally $10. It's going up to $12, so it's only going up $2.
Yeah,
right.
For military, law enforcement, those kind of guys that we do give discounts to use the range, it's staying at $10. It's not going up at all. Right. We are having to increase our membership prices as well. We have 4 different tiers. We have the bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and for bronze, it's going up to $25 a month or $275 if you pay at once. Silver, respectively, it's going to be $40 a month and $399 in total. Gold, $50 a month and $549 in total. Or platinum, which is staying the same at $1,000 all at once, or $86 a month.
Right, and I'm sure you can go to Gun Range or San Diego to find out what the benefits are at those each levels.
Absolutely,
on
yes,
the website?
yes. And the best thing about even just the bronze, which is the lowest one, is if you shoot at our range more than twice a month, it pays for itself.
Well, there you go.
Absolutely.
So,
that being said, though, I hope nobody freaks out. because we are giving a little bit of a leeway time up until October 15th. If you renew your membership from now until October 15th, we will keep you at the old rates. So that rate will not go up until the next year. So
Did you already go down and do yours?
Yep. I'm already talking to Veronica, and I'll tell you what, that gold membership is terrific because, again, they clean 2 guns a month.
Yep.
And
plus, you get to go to the front of the line.
Besides being lazy, as you know, I knock over the solvent. So I don't have to knock over the solvent now, and it's terrific.
You get to go to the front of the line.
Yep.
And you know what? Council member Chris Cate, who's a great friend of the show and a great a friend of Second Amendment, I was talking to him about joining also as a member. So and he's running for re-election, by the way. He has a fundraiser tomorrow night at 5:30. By the way, I'll put a little plug in for Chris. Hey, real quick, it's going to be at the Rough Draft Brewery at 5:30 tomorrow night. So
where's that at?
I don't know. I haven't Googled it yet.
I'll take care of that.
And so at 5:30, anybody who wants to meet Council Member Chris Cate, even if you're not in his district, which he's got Mira Mesa, Kearney Mesa, where Gun Range San Diego is, and he's been at Gun Range San Diego a bunch of times.
Yes, we had an event for him before too.
Remember that? Yeah, such a great guy, isn't he?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, cool.
Now, also with the price increase thing, for those of you also in the military, first responders categories, we do still have the special pricing for memberships, and that's going up also, but not as much. It's going to be for bronze $225, for silver $325, and for gold $449. So we try and take care of our first responders.
Gotcha. And Monday and Tuesday nights are generally pretty good to go there because there's not a line or anything like that. So sometimes
typically,
Wednesdays
yes,
too.
We do have the special days there, those 2 days. But yeah, I mean, it's during the week. It's definitely better than the weekend if you're trying to get in. But if you get gold, like I said about Lance here a second ago, if you get a gold membership, you go to the front of the line.
Yeah, that's great. I recommend that for everybody for that little bit of money. And if you own a business, you could probably write it off. I'm not here to give tax advice, but it's just a great thing.
By the way, Rough Draft Brewing Company is located at 8830 Rehco, REHCO Road in San Diego, 92121. Open today, 1 to 5.
Gotcha. Yeah,
and it's got a 4.6 out of 5 stars.
Well, and you get to meet a 5-star city council member, and that would be Chris Cate.
So check it out. Just Rough Draft Brewery. We'll take care of that. All right, we're going to go ahead and take a small break. Come back. There's a whole lot more right here on Gun Sports Radio. I'm Dave. He's Lance. This is AM 1170. Answer. Back. You're listening to Gun Sports Radio. Dave Stahl and Lance Elke.
Here we are.
This segment's brought to you by the good folks at Trident Gunsmithing. www.tridentgunsmithing.com. 858-570-576. They've got a special hunting education course. Go to their website. Check it out. Steve Shaw is the instructor. Teach all about your gun, your responsibility, and proper etiquette. They even have a class there where they'll teach you how to take your kill and turn it into food, like sausages.
I like it.
In fact, John Dillon gave me a bag the other day just to mention it.
Oh.
Hey, who we got on the line today, sir?
This is really cool. So we've got Mike Johnson. Johnson is he's with this local group, fantastic group called SD Must. And a while back when they had a fire out in the East County, and anyway, the folks tried to kind of government officials tried to kind of shut that down from shooters and whatnot, and Mike was very vocal against that. And then Mike and his group also go to BLM land. They work with BLM and other organizations to clean those areas. So we brought him on, and Mike, you on the line?
Yeah, how's it going?
It's good, man. So how are you today?
Pretty good, just tired.
You got to be. So tell us about your organization real quick and what you guys were up to yesterday.
Well, we've been actually doing cleanups in San Diego area, Imperial County, and Riverside.
Wow.
Mostly San Diego since about 2003.
Wow.
I mean, it started with just a couple friends in our trucks, but then over time I started roping in more people to help because we're trying to keep the garbage at bay to try to keep areas from getting closed down.
Excellent.
Do we have that many, Guy? Do we have that many disrespectful people out there?
I don't know. It's kind of a weird mix. I think there's a mix of a lot of people that just don't know. Like they don't. There's no education that tells you what you can and can't do out there. So they just go out there. They see some garbage and they just assume they can leave theirs as well. Yeah. It's like when you go to a campground or the beach. It's the same thing. People just think they can leave their garbage because someone else will deal with it.
Weren't you told when you were little to pick up after yourself? It seems to me like I was.
Well, and I was a Boy Scout, too. So.
Oh, me too. Yeah, see, that's it. Well, what's bugging the you-know-what out of me, and it has nothing to do with guns. I'm seeing more and more of these little dental floss sticky things,
Oh, really?
People are just throwing them all over the place.
Like cigarette butts, huh?
Yeah.
It's terrible.
It's terrible. We had a situation, same thing with the desert. I do a lot of work with the off-road community, and they have to do the same thing you're doing. I mean, they have to get trucks and go out to the desert, and they load up tons and tons. It's ridiculous. Where is the responsibility? I don't understand.
And Mike, so where were you yesterday?
So yesterday we were out in the Dulzura area.
Okay.
BLM actually reached out to us a little bit after the fires because they knew that we were doing cleanups. And then for National Public Lands Day, so I guess all over the country, volunteers were cleaning up public land everywhere.
Okay.
I think they said that they had over 200,000 volunteers nationwide.
Wow.
So they asked us to help in San Diego for this area. We had about 35 to 40 volunteers, and then that's not including the BLM and the people they had. Mm. So that's pretty good for a cleanup.
That's quite a bit.
No kidding. How do people find you in case they want to go with you next time?
They can go to sdmus.com. We have information about our upcoming events, and there's information about past events. But pretty much that's the best way to get a hold of me. Is there's a contact page there. Mm-hmm. And you can also donate there as well because we're a 501c3 nonprofit, so we can take donations.
That's cool. Right. What's your next function? Next cleanup?
Right now, I'm trying to plan things a few months out in advance.
Okay.
I think we're going to have I think in December we're going to have like a meet and greet, kind of like an educational event. I'm not quite sure where it's going to be yet, but usually we have it at a gun range so we can kind of do some shooting as well. But I'll post that online once I get, a confirmed location.
Well, you send them down our way.
You got Nick right here with a gun range San Diego, so
sure.
Yeah. I think I've sent them. I think I was talking to them previously about possibly doing one. There was so much going on with this cleanup. I've been
Okay, cool.
So that's www.S as in Sam, D as in David, MUST.com.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, man, I appreciate you taking time out of your day, Mike, and
thanks.
Hope definitely give us a call back next time you do a cleanup. Let us know how it went, and if you need to reach out to us, I've got a couple ideas. Maybe I can help you with that same program.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd like to work with anybody I can to get more people out there.
Yeah, man. Thank you for
your
service.
Buddy. All right. Well, hey, enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks.
All right. That is, because I'm thinking, like get El Cajon Ford to donate a dump truck.
Oh, it'd be great.
Because perfect. If you throw it all in, there's nothing worse than having to haul it all back.
And those guys at El Cajon Ford are amazing.
Yeah, and I know John real well in the commercial department.
That it would be terrific.
That's what I was
Look at the service this guy does. Isn't that terrific?
I know.
It goes out there.
It's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
And I'd love to drive a dump truck.
Yeah, it'd be really cool.
I'll volunteer to drive. All right, so we got Nick in the house. He is from Gun Range San Diego. Way better looking than Hollywood, but awesome. Hollywood's got an accent, so I don't know what to say. And Hollywood never brings any paperwork in. This kid is he's
organized.
I try to stay organized.
That's what we like to see.
Keep my information
Maybe
straight,
you could train Hollywood. Nah, you can't train.
I could try, but what do they say about old dogs, right?
Yeah. He'll bite you.
Yeah,
he will bite
pretty
you.
likely.
Old dogs, that one's good.
So what, do you have a calendar of events coming up? Anything exciting?
I don't have a calendar. That's one thing I'm not organized with today.
But the website's
the website is a good place to go. We keep everything updated on there. So if you go to the website, check our events calendar, you should be able to see everything we have going on.
And I would say weeks. because I get down there quite a bit, and for all of us, you know what? Just take your guns to
Sure.
Take them, go over there on Monday or Tuesday night or whatever. Just try and go this week, everybody. And, just because we all keep talking about it. It's not like riding a bike, but it's fun too. Be there 20 minutes, be there for a half hour, be there for an hour, whatever the case may be. Take a friend, have a good time. The food in Kearney Mesa is amazing, right?
Yes. It is.
So everybody does that. Yeah. So I just can't encourage people enough to just go shooting every week. You got this stuff. Let's use it.
Yeah. And if you don't have any guns, and if you don't have any ammo, you can go to gun
Still
range.
go.
We have
good point.
Plenty of rentals.
Oh, my God. And plenty of bullets.
Absolutely.
And they've got, and trust me, you're not going to be out there by yourself. They're going to have gun range safety folks that are going to be right there with
guys.
you, no matter what your skills and talent level are.
We really do have the best RSOs. We do.
I think so.
Zach in particular, he was in the Marine Corps. He is real competent in every discipline, basically. He really knows what he's doing out there.
Does he make you do a push-up if you do the wrong thing?
I wouldn't mind seeing that happen.
Marines are. All right, give me 20.
What's the email address in case they want to get a hold of you guys?
There's a couple. For the range manager himself, there's a range@gunrangesd.com.
And they might want to use that, someone to call in or send an email for if they want a group or something like that?
Yes, that would be the person to talk to if you want to have a large group. I'm talking 8, 10, etc. people. He'd be the person to send.
And what is that again?
Range@gunrangesd.com. And if you're looking for just general information, then we have info@gunrangesd.com as well.
Yeah. So, if you haven't been out in a while, go. Mm-hmm. You got some friends at work or whatever, say, hey, man, we've been talking about it. Yeah, just send these guys an email. I'm
going to start doing this because I tell people all the time, to call over there.
Yeah.
But if they go to range@gunrangesd.com, you won't have to sit on hold, and you don't have to. Well, because you guys are busy. I mean, let's face it.
Yeah.
Well, plus you can just do that. The calendar's on there.
You just do it from your iPhone or whatever phone you got, and that's nice. So
I totally agree.
We got to get Dave down there when he stays shooting.
I don't think I've ever seen you there.
I haven't shot yet. I am so
he's been there. Just
so busy.
Yeah.
Okay.
He has been.
Well, KUSI 5 days a week, 4 hours of radio.
Puppies.
Hey, did you see my picture? I have to give a plug to Napa. I went down to Napa the other day to buy a AC compressor.
Okay.
And they had this real blue convertible cart that when you're done with it, you fold it up, put it in your shelf.
Is that what that was?
Well, yeah, because you got to take puppies from the bedroom to the outside.
Oh, yeah.
And I got 8 puppies, so I went and got the cart. My wife said, there's no way. So I put a towel on the bottom.
Yeah.
You'd think they were on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. They put their little dachshunds. They put their little arms on the side, and they're just hooting and hooting and going through the house and just having a gale time.
That's great.
So now my wife thinks that's the greatest thing since toast.
That's terrific, man, with the puppies.
I know. It's a wonderful thing. Well, hey, we definitely want to thank our sponsors, Gun Range San Diego, for sure.
Absolutely.
Trident Gunsmithing.
You got it.
Gatsky, Dillon, and Balance LLP.
You got it, man.
And we want to thank the folks that helped us before. We got 511 Tactical. We got Zombie Industries. We've got so many folks that have helped us along the way.
You got it.
And if you want to help us too, you're more than welcome to. Go to
info@gunsportsradio.com. You can go to the Facebook page. You can find it, Gunsports Radio, or just www.gunsportsradio.com.
And if you have any comments, concerns, questions, that's the best place to go. We will answer any and all emails that we do get. And if you want to be on the show, it's only $1,000 a minute.
That's it. A minute.
We'd
love to hear from you.
If I could have. All right. Well, hey, Nick, thank you very much for coming down. Hope you had as much fun as we think you did.
Oh, I had a lot. Thank you for having me again.
If not, we don't care.
Everybody go down and see Nick.
Yeah, go see Nick. Go see Nick.
Yeah.
So we got to come up with a new name for him. What are we going to come up with? We'll have to think about it.
Because
we can't call him Hollywood.
He's Nick.
He's just Nick.
He's Nick.
I'll be just Nick. I'm okay.
You can be just Nick. All right, folks. Enjoy the rest of your day. And remember, we'll be back next Sunday, 4 to 5, right here on AM 1170. The Answer.
Gun Sports Radio is sponsored by Love Radio Network.